My name is Mike Walsh, and I serve as the chair of the Advisory Commission on Charter Schools, and it is my honor to call this meeting to order on Tuesday, October 12th at 9 a.m. Excuse me. Assembly Bill 361 permits the ACCS meeting to take place via web or audio teleconferencing. Additional information regarding this is available on the meeting agenda for today's meeting. During commissioner deliberation today, I will call on each commissioner by name. Please use the raise hand feature if you wish to be recognized and speak. And please make sure that your computers are muted at all times unless you are speaking. All votes today will be taken by a roll call vote. Members of the public who wish to make public comment may dial 712-770-5316 and use access code 4337117 when prompted to call in for a given item or for general public comment. Upon dialing in, callers will be added to a caller queue, and the operator will notify callers when it is their turn to provide public comment. Public comment will be limited to 1 minute. Members of the public who wish to dial in for a public comment should view the live stream of the meeting. The number and access code will be provided before the start of public comment for each item. And prior to making public comment, speakers who are watching the meeting through the live webcast should make sure the volume on their computer is muted to avoid echoing or feedback sounds during the call. So at this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Taylor if he would be willing to lead us through the flag salute so that we can get to work.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, President Walsh. If everyone will stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Taylor. Yeah. So at this time, I'm going to call on the commissioners to state their name and who they represent on this chair, or excuse me, on the commission. And we'll begin with Commissioner Feazell.
My name is Andrea Feazell, and I represent educators at charter schools.
Andrea, I promise you, within the next 20 years, I will get your name correct. Thank you. Stop it. Let's see. Commissioner Jones, have you joined us yet? I didn't see. All right. And I know Commissioner Baruman was missing. Commissioner Garbalino-Mojica.
Good morning. Gail Garbalino-Mojica, Placer County Superintendent of Schools, representing County Superintendent.
Thank you. Apologies, everyone. I have a 1-year-old puppy and a 2-year-old grandson in the house today, and they are not quiet on either end. Stop it, boy. Let's see. And then Commissioner Austin.
Good morning, Jared Austin, representing parents and guardians.
Thank you, Jared. Commissioner Taylor.
Matt Taylor, representing charter schools.
Commissioner Farland.
Hi, Stephanie Farland. I am representing the State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurman.
Commissioner Sever.
This is Wes Sever, Superintendent of Kingsburg Elementary School District, representing district superintendents.
And I am Mike Walsh from the Butte County Office of Ed, representing governing boards of school districts. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt the meeting notes from June 2021. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Sever. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Looks like Commissioner Austin got just ahead of you there, Commissioner Mojica. Very good. We'll take a roll call vote. So Commissioner Feazell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Garbalino-Mojica.
Yes.
And Commissioner Austin.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
I'm Commissioner Walsh. I vote yes. And Commissioner Farland.
Yes.
And Commissioner Sever.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Let's see. Moving along. A quick announcement. Members of the public who wish to make public comment, once again, this is public comment, you may dial 712-770-5316 and use access code 4337117 when prompted to call in for a given item or for general public comment regarding an item that is not part of the ACCS meeting agenda. At this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Farland to share her update on the charter school division. Commissioner Farland.
Thank you, Chair Walsh. My internet connection keeps telling me it's a little unstable, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. So just a quick update today. You may have noticed we haven't had any appeals that we've been able to move forward to the commission or the state board. I'm sure there are lots of reasons for that. Number one, not a lot of charter petitioners are opening schools during this time, so we haven't seen a lot of that in the last year. Obviously, with the 2 years being added on to everyone's petition term, we won't be seeing any renewals for at least 2 years, so there won't be any appeals from renewals. So on the appeals front, it seems like it's a little quiet right now. So we don't have any coming forward for the December ACCS, January State Board. And then we will see when the next deadline comes around whether we have any for February / March. So given that it's been a little quiet on the appeals front, which takes up, as you can imagine, a good portion of my staff's time, we have been working on some things that we've just been wanting to get to over the last year and a half or so of my term as director of the Charter Schools Division. So you will notice if you go on to our web pages, the Charter School Division web pages on the CDE website, we have updated well over 50% of those web pages now, which I'm very, very excited about. They're really taking shape and looking really good with putting in all the new legislation that's come down from across the street. And so a lot of those are up to date, and we should have the majority of them or the rest of them finished before the end of the year. And I'm very excited about that because before becoming director of the division, I was out in the field like all of you looking at those pages. And I know how important they are for the field in terms of guidance and FAQs and that sort of thing. So we're very excited about that work. We're moving along in the funding determination process. If you remember last year, Trailer Bill gave schools a 2-year sort of a reprieve, a little 2-year reprieve of needing to come before the board. So we're not seeing as many of those either. We are reviewing them though. So even though they don't go before the board, we are reviewing all of the forms that come in. And if anything seems out of place or funding levels or spending has dipped significantly, we will bring those up to the board if needed. So we're reviewing all of those right now. And just moving forward on some of the grant work, our first round of subgrantees was funded, and that was for planning grants. We're moving into the second round of subgrantees for charter schools, and those will be planning, implementation, replication, expansion grants. And so we'll, I think we've either just posted or are in the process of posting this week the new RFA for the second round of funding for those charter schools. So we're moving forward with that, which we're very excited about. Had a great group of schools in the first round. And then we have 3 new subgrants that are really geared towards training of authorizers and charters. And we're kind of rethinking how we can maybe reformat those subgrants. We did put out an RFA for those, and we did receive a couple of applications back, but not nearly enough to move ahead with those subgrants at this time. So we will be thinking about how to reformat those so that we can get some great folks to submit applications. So if you want to know anything more about that, please drop me a line, because we have been trying to get the word out through our listserv, through our education partners in the field, and are really looking for some great organizations and the types of organizations that can apply for these subgrants to provide trainings to charter schools are county offices of ed, school districts, charter schools, CMOs that are nonprofit, and any nonprofit organization. So there's a wide range of folks who can apply for these subgrants, and we will be putting out something soon to sort of push again the sub-grants and try to get some more applicants in. We do have, like I said, a couple that came in that are great, but we need to give, I think at total, we have about 8 sub-grants that we need to give away. And so we didn't receive nearly enough to even give away 3. So we'll be reformatting that and putting it back out. And hopefully I can send it to the commissioners when we put that RFA out, and maybe you can help get the word out as well if you know any folks in the field who would be really good at this type of work in terms of training, doing best practice workshops for charter schools and becoming sort of mentors for charter school operators. So I will get any information to you that you are interested in, and will definitely send out when we sort of reformat and redo the RFA, we'll send that out to you as well. I think that's the bulk of my update today. So thank you.
Thank you. There's no such thing as downtime where there's nothing to be done, apparently. There's always some good work. So thank you very much for that, Commissioner Farland. And also want to welcome to the commission, Commissioner Jones. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and who you represent, and then we will get back to work.
Good morning, Erica Jones, and I represent teachers.
Thank you. All right. So we'll move on. There's not a lot of work today, but the work is still important. So we'll go ahead and dedicate the time it requires. At this time, we will open the mics for general public comment. So we will take a general public comment at this time upon dialing in. Callers will be added to a queue. The operator will notify callers when it is their turn to provide public comment. Public comment is limited to 1 minute per speaker. Again, these are for general public comments at this time. If you're calling in for item 1, we will let you know when that will happen shortly. So at this moment, people wishing to make comments, So at this moment, I'll just simply ask, do we have any general public comment?
Good morning, Commissioner. We do not have any callers for general public comment in the queue at this time.
Very good. So at this time, if there are any callers for item number 1, now is the time to call in. So people wishing to make comment should call in at this time for item number 1. Dial the number 712-770-5316 using access code 433-7117 pound when prompted. So since we are moving on to item number 1, I will go ahead and ask CDE to please present the item and share their recommendation.
All right. Good morning, Chair Walsh and members of the Commission. My name is McKenna Huey, representing the Charter Schools Division, and I will be presenting the item listed on today's meeting agenda. So today's item consists of the consideration of retroactive requests for determination of funding for 2 new non-classroom-based charter schools, Open Door Charter, which is authorized by the Monterey County Office of Education, and Tracy Independent Study Charter, which is authorized by the Tracy Joint Unified School District. Pursuant to Education Code, a charter school may only receive funding for its non-classroom-based instruction if it has an approved funding determination from the State Board of Education. However, Senate Bill 820, Section 75, exempted schools that have active funding determinations that expire on June 30th, 2021 or June 30th, 2022 from receiving an approved funding determination from the SBE. As the 2 schools presented in this item did not qualify for the exemption, they were required to submit a funding determination for the state board's approval by February 1st of 2021. However, both schools failed to submit a funding determination request by the state. As such, their authorizers were required to obtain a waiver from the state board to waive the submission deadline, and their waivers were both approved by the state board at its July 14th, 2021 meeting. So upon the state board's approval of the school's waivers, the California Department of Education reviewed each school's funding determination form. Both Open Door Charter and Tracy Independent Study Charter qualify for a recommendation of 100% funding for their non-classroom-based instruction, as they both reported spending at least 40% of their public revenues on salaries and benefits for all employees who possess a valid teaching certificate, spending at least 80% of all revenues on instruction and related services, and maintaining a pupil-to-teacher ratio that does not exceed 25:1. So after considering all information submitted by both schools, the California Department of Education proposes to recommend that the State Board approve Open Door Charter and Tracy Independent Study Charter's determination of funding requests at 100% for fiscal years 2021-22 and 2022-23. Thank you for your consideration of this item, and I'm happy to answer any questions the Commission may have.
Very good. So at this time, do any of the commissioners have clarifying questions? And again, the clarifying is just simply clarifying the information that was already given. If you have deeper substantive questions, please save those for after public comment. So at this time, do any of the commissioners have questions for staff? And seeing none, then we will move forward. Is there any public comment for item number 1?
Morning, Chair. Yes, we do have public comment in the queue, so we will go and start that now. Good morning, caller. Please state your name and affiliation for the record to provide public comment for item 1. Your time starts now.
Good morning. My name is Kina Collins, and I'm a veteran charter educator representing the California Teachers Association. CTA would like to express our continued concerns with the funding determination process for non-classroom-based charters. This process is broken and does not provide the level of transparency needed for the commissioners of the ACCS, nor the members of the State Board to provide appropriate public oversight on these funding determinations. The moratorium on new non-classroom-based charters has been extended until 2025, and this is the time for the CDE and the SBE to begin to review and update the regulations that govern this process. There were specific questions raised in our letter regarding the lack of transparency on the figures within the FDS. This is a systemic issue within the non-classroom-based charter process. CTA looks forward to working with the CDE, SBE, and ACCS to fix this broken process. Thank you.
We do not have any additional public callers in the queue at this time.
Thank you very much. Then at this time, I'll ask, stop it. At this time, he has an opinion too. At this time, I will ask if there are any other questions by the commissioners. Seeing none, then with permission from my dog, we will go ahead and take a vote. Stop it. Yeah.
I move approval of the CDE recommendation to fund these 2 charter schools at 100% for 2 years.
This is Wes Severn. I'll second that.
Thank you. Now that we have a motion and a second, we will go ahead and take a vote. Apologies for the distraction. We're going to deal with this. So we'll begin with a roll call vote. We have a motion. So we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Austin, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Commissioner Farland?
Yes.
Commissioner Faisal?
Yes.
Commissioner Garbellino-Mojica?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Sever?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
And I, Mike Walsh, I'll vote yes. So the motion passes unanimously. And at this time, that is the last item for us. That is the only work. So thank you to the commissioners for your patience with my challenges on my end. And also thank you for your work in being here today. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 14th. So please be safe, enjoy your family holidays and times together, and look forward to seeing everybody at that time. Goodbye, everybody.